Ever make the mistake of thinking that you're going to worry less or be less stressed simply because you're doing fewer things, even fewer difficult things? As someone that has a tendency to worry, I've noticed the exact opposite, where when my days are empty and perhaps I only have one big outing, if it's like going to the grocery store, well, then everything on that little outing is now in much clearer focus, and your mind can more easily obsess and overthink and just put way too much stress on that one thing. So, like, if all you do that day is go to the grocery store, well, then if the clerk is mean to you, or you have a weird interaction, or you can't find the thing you want, then the emotions that come with that are going to be much, much stronger. Whereas if your day is full and you just go to the grocery store after, say, doing hard work and doing a sport and doing a hobby that you love, well, then that's just one little drop in the bucket of that day. And so to have a truly bad day, you need things to go wrong in every single time block and on every single dimension on which you're like striving and doing something in. When I like would only, if you only like stay inside all the time and then, for example, go to one party a month, if you're someone that's trying to be more social, like if you go to one party a month or one party a year, one social event a week, well, then it's going to be so much pressure to do well and to have fun and to make sure everything goes well and that everyone likes you, and you're going to put so much pressure on it that it doesn't even work, because fundamentally these things don't work if there's so much pressure on them. The whole point of almost anything, but certainly a social event, is to sort of relax and have fun and flow into it and feel free while you're there. But if all that pressure is there, that cannot happen. And in this way, an empty life is much, much more stressful than a full life. Like, who do you think is more stressed out? Like hikikimori, like a Japanese shut-in, though it's present everywhere. That's just where the word is from, where that like never leaves the house, lives with their parents. Their only social interaction is like them arguing with their parents over getting a job or talking with people online while they play video games. They never leave the house. And so if they do, they feel tremendous stress. Is that person more stressed? Or would the more stressed person be the one that wakes up at 6 a.m., meditates, then works for 4 hours or 8 hours, and then goes and rides their bike, 10 miles for exercise, and then comes home and spends time with their family, and then works on a side hustle at night, and then like for 30 minutes at the end of the day curls up on the couch with a book? That's not even that crazy of a day, right? I don't want to build a day of like, you have to be doing a martial art and then sparring and then hiking a mountain. It doesn't need to be that. But the day just needs to be full so that if one thing goes wrong, the day is not a bust, and that not every single activity has so much writing on it. This is so, so important, especially if you feel like you're in a pit and you're in that kind of stressed, agoraphobic state where like the thought of filling up your day and being outside all the time and not retreating back into your cave fairly often, if that frightens you and that seems difficult, then you need to go out and do things more than anyone. And you don't need to put pressure on doing cool stuff. This is really important if you're just getting started. But you want to practice having full days. This is just so key. So, for example, it's better to do some work than no work at all. It's better to take a walk around the park. Like if you don't have any friends, for example, do not stay inside. Just go walk around, no headphones. Stay outside from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. Going to cafes, doing this, doing that. Whatever the structure of your life is, you want to expand that time outside so that you're just used to like being with people and being out and encountering things that aren't predictable and not just being stuck between four walls and doing the same things over and over again. That's such an unnatural state for a human being to be in. And given that all of this is a bit unnatural, like you're not going to be able to walk around the savannah and hunt, but walking around your town or driving here and visiting this place and reading this book and doing this and that and this and that and being constantly on the move, that's much closer to natural. And it's going to make every single thing hurt you so much less. Yesterday I had a pretty bad like sparring session in Muay Thai. Like I got hurt, I got humbled, I felt like I wasn't very good and I hadn't made as much progress as I thought I had. If that Muay Thai was the only thing I had done that day, and I had nothing planned for the next day, you can imagine that would have eaten away at me, not for the 10-minute drive home, but up until now, and it would continue to eat away at me so long as I had time to think, but I didn't. After Muay Thai, I got dinner with a friend. Then I lost my keys, so I had to go around town searching for my keys. And then the next morning, I went to work. And then I had to do some writing. And then I'm going to the gym. And then I'm going on a run. And then I'm gonna see friends again. And like, do you see what I mean? There was no time to obsessively reflect. That Muay Thai bad session was just one small block in this week of many things, some of which are gonna go well and some of which aren't. I think that is how a life should be structured, or else the human tendency, especially if you're at all neurotic, is to obsess over things and overthink and not enjoy something because you feel like there's so much writing on it. This is your only opportunity. And that is the last thing you want. You don't want to feel like everything rides on one thing. That's not to say you can't have single-minded focus. But even if you have single-minded focus and you're working 8-10 hours a day on something, there's still a lot more time in which you could, in a psychological sense, not put all your eggs in one basket. Spread yourself out a bit more. And don't think that like sitting at home all the time is therapeutic. The idea that that is self-care and that if you're stressed or having a tough time, that is what you need, I think is a complete mistake, because burnout exists. But burnout tends to be when you're spending crazy amounts of time doing something you don't like that much and neglecting your health. People that do jobs they love for a reasonable amount of time each day and then balance that out with social time, leisure time, hobby time. You see what I mean? That's by definition not burnout, but those people are still busy. Those people are still doing a lot. So, in conclusion, a lack of hard activities, a lack of problems is not going to make you less stressed. It's not going to make you less troubled. It's not going to make you less anxious about doing a particular thing. What is going to do that is by having more things to think about, so much so that you cannot overthink, that you cannot obsess. That's all.